He was a preacher, teacher, leader, and motivator to millions. A man born into poverty on a small island in the Bahamas, who rose to become one of the most influential spiritual leaders of our time. He wasn't just a pastor, he was a visionary, an author of more than 60 books, and a global voice for leadership, purpose, and personal transformation. But who was Dr. Myles Munroe beyond the pulpit? In this video, we dive deep into the extraordinary life of Dr. Myles Munroe, his humble beginnings, powerful teachings, family values, unique lifestyle, and the legacy he left behind. From the streets of Nassau to stages around the world, this is the untold story of a man who taught us all to live with purpose. Welcome to FlashIcons, where legacies come to life. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories. Dr. Myles Munroe was born on April 20th, 1954, in Nassau, the capital city of the Bahamas. He was one of 11 children, raised in a poor family where life was anything but easy. Growing up in a small wooden house with no electricity or running water, Myles was no stranger to hardship. But it was in those humble beginnings that his faith was born. His mother, a devout Christian, made prayer and discipline central to their daily life. And these early spiritual roots would shape the man he'd become. Despite the challenges, young Myles had a hunger for knowledge. That passion led him to the United States, where he enrolled at Oral Roberts University. There, he earned a bachelor's degree in fine arts, education, and theology. He didn't stop there. He went on to receive a master's degree in administration from the University of Tulsa. His early life taught him discipline. His education taught him structure. And together, they forged a philosophy that every person, no matter where they start, is born with a purpose waiting to be discovered. In the early 1980s, Dr. Myles Munroe took a bold step that would change not only his life, but the spiritual landscape of an entire nation. He founded Bahamas Faith Ministries International, a groundbreaking movement rooted in purpose, leadership, and kingdom living. What began as a small ministry quickly grew into a global force. His teachings resonated with people from every walk of life, those seeking direction, clarity, and meaning. And Dr. Munroe delivered, powerfully, passionately, and with unmistakable conviction. He didn't just preach, he wrote. Over his lifetime, he authored more than 60 books, many of them bestsellers. Titles like Understanding the Purpose and Power of Man, The Principles and Power of Vision, and Rediscovering the Kingdom became go-to resources for those seeking personal and spiritual growth. As his voice gained traction, so did his reach. Dr. Munroe traveled extensively, speaking at international conferences, appearing on television programs, and hosting motivational seminars that filled arenas. His message was clear and consistent. You were born with a purpose. You were created for more. And discovering your personal kingdom assignment was the key to living a fulfilled life. By the late 1990s, Myles Munroe wasn't just a pastor, he was a global ambassador for leadership and spiritual empowerment. Behind every great leader is often a great partner. And for Dr. Myles Munroe, that partner was Ruth Munroe. More than just his wife, Ruth was his co-pastor, confidant, and partner in ministry. Together, they led Bahamas Faith Ministries with unity and strength, showing the world what it meant to serve with both purpose and love. The couple was blessed with 2 children, Carissa and Chiro, who grew up surrounded by faith, wisdom, and a deep sense of purpose. To Dr. Munroe, family wasn't a separate part of life. It was the foundation of everything he preached. At home and on stage, his message was the same. True leadership begins in the family. He believed that love, respect, and communication were the cornerstones of a successful home, and he modeled that in his own life. Even with a global platform, Dr. Munroe remained deeply committed to his role as a husband and father. His family was not only a support system, but a visible part of his ministry, a team that walked the talk. In blending leadership with love, vision with values, Dr. Munroe showed that success means very little if it doesn't begin at home. Despite his global fame and influence, Dr. Myles Munroe remained a man of simplicity and humility. He was modest, yet confident, a leader who didn't just talk about purpose, but lived it every day. While many sought luxury, Dr. Munroe chose a life of simplicity, grounded in faith and service. Even after speaking in over 100 countries, meeting presidents and royalty, and selling millions of books, he remained deeply rooted in his values. His lifestyle reflected discipline. He was known for his punctuality, his sharp focus, and an unwavering commitment to excellence, whether he was preaching, writing, or mentoring. Dr. Munroe gave his full attention, with passion and purpose. And when he spoke, people listened. He was a dynamic, high-energy communicator, full of charisma, often pacing the stage with intensity, his voice rising, his words cutting through doubt and fear. Yet off-stage, he was calm, approachable, and wise, someone who could make you feel like the most important person in the room. Dr. Myles Munroe didn't just lead crowds, he touched hearts. Through a life of integrity, clarity, and unwavering focus, he proved that true greatness doesn't come from status, it comes from service. Dr. Myles Munroe wasn't driven by money, but his impact certainly brought success. At the time of his passing, his estimated net worth ranged between $4 and $6 million, earned through a lifetime of best-selling books, international speaking engagements, and the work of his ministry. But beyond the numbers, it was the influence he carried that truly defined his wealth. Dr. Munroe received numerous awards and honors, recognizing his leadership and service across continents. Governments, universities, and organizations around the world celebrated him for his contributions to spiritual growth, leadership development, and educational reform. From the Caribbean to Africa, Europe to the United States, his presence was more than welcomed. It was honored. And his legacy didn't stop when he left the stage. Through over 60 published books, thousands of recorded sermons, and powerful leadership seminars, Dr. Munroe left behind both a financial and intellectual treasure chest for generations to come. He didn't just build a ministry, he built a movement rooted in vision, value, and the belief that every person was born to lead. On November 9th, 2014, tragedy struck the world of faith and leadership. Dr. Myles Munroe, his beloved wife Ruth, and 7 others lost their lives in a devastating plane crash. They were en route to a leadership conference in Grand Bahama, an event Dr. Munroe had organized to inspire the next generation of world changers. The news sent shockwaves across the globe. Millions were stunned. A spiritual giant was gone in an instant. From presidents and prime ministers to pastors and everyday people, the outpouring of grief was massive. Social media was flooded with tributes, churches held memorials, global leaders spoke of a man whose words had shaped minds and stirred hearts. But even in death, Dr. Munroe's message remained clear. Life is fragile, purpose is urgent, and legacy lives on. Though he and Ruth were taken too soon, their impact lives in the voices they inspired and the lives they changed. Though Dr. Myles Munroe is no longer with us physically, his voice continues to echo around the world. His books, sermons, and teachings remain powerful resources for those seeking purpose, clarity, and leadership. From YouTube to classrooms, churches to corporate boardrooms, his wisdom lives on. Bahamas Faith Ministries, the church he founded, has not only survived his passing, it has thrived. Under new leadership, it continues to carry the torch, serving as a hub for spiritual growth and kingdom-centered living. His influence is also seen in the youth programs, leadership workshops, and mentoring initiatives that still operate based on the models he designed. Generations of young leaders have emerged because of the foundation he laid, and it doesn't stop there. Dr. Munroe's legacy lives in thousands of churches, schools, ministries, and movements in every corner of the globe where his message of purpose and vision took root. He once said, "The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but a life without purpose." By that measure, Dr. Myles Munroe lived a life of tremendous victory and left behind a legacy that still leads. Dr. Myles Munroe's life teaches us one simple truth. Every person was born with a unique purpose. Through his teachings, his leadership, and his example, he showed us how to discover that purpose and how to live it boldly. His message still resonates today, reminding us to take responsibility, to lead with vision, and to live with meaning. As Dr. Munroe himself said, "The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but a life without purpose." Thank you for joining us on FlashIcons to celebrate the life and legacy of this incredible man. If you found inspiration here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that bring icons to life. Until next time, stay inspired and live your purpose.